Good evening. Discussions from the Jasper City Council, a Spencer County Chamber of Commerce dinner, an Inform you don't want to miss, and of course, your local stories, sports, and weather are coming up here on the 18 WJTS News. Good evening, this is the WJTS News. I'm Charlotte Olson. Last night, the Jasper City Council discussed and reviewed the idea of a proposed St. Charles multi-use walking trail extension in the city. The proposed project dates back to prior years before the Parklands idea was conceived and an ongoing conception. The original idea of an extension was to place the trail in a loop around Jasper, which last night was questioned by the council. Councilman Kevin Manley expressed that it would make more sense to have the trail implemented where more citizens are located and can better be utilized. As the original idea got passed down from council to council throughout the years, the most recent plan calls for the trail to connect to the Riverwalk to St. Charles by way of Cathy Lane to 30th Street and Northwood Avenue. Some council members proposed a change in the route to connect St. Charles Street to 15th Street in the Parklands area, which they say would go through the neighborhoods where there would be more footwork and would not be subjected to any potentially dangerous traffic. In June of 2014, the city announced it would receive a $2 million grant through the Indiana Department of Transportation. The grants are used for capital improvements which directly affect the quality of life for residents and the ability of cities and towns to attract recent businesses. It has to have a 20% match by the city, of which Jasper Mayor Terry Seitz says that the city has budgeted for annually since reviewing the grant. City engineer Chad Herm says that due to budgetary constraints from INDOT and overruns of transportation projects, the proposal was pushed back. There was no immediate vote or decision as the issue is being tabled pending on changes to the route of the trail by the Jasper Council, and there will be future meetings to redefine any new plans. There will be public hearings as this idea develops, with engineers definitely involved. In other business last night, the Jasper City Council repealed the confirmatory resolution for a tax amendment being placed for Cash Wagner Enterprises LLC and the Jasper Lofts LLC due to a mistake recorded on the scoring of the project. The score was recorded as an 81 rather than 91 for the project, which changed the tax amendment schedule. The council then approved the correction, and the council learned from Mayor Terry Seitz that the city's street and fire departments had been helping with the response in the recent avian flu outbreak in northeast DuBois County. Most recently, the fire department assisted in applying the foaming agent used to euthanize birds when the responders ran into issues with their own application systems due to the cold weather. Businesses, organizations, and individuals enjoyed an evening of awards in a carnival setting at the Spencer County Regional Chamber of Commerce while it hosted its annual dinner Thursday evening. The annual gathering was highlighted by the presentation of David Sinowek, and Leadership's Award and Business Year of the Awards were presented. Mel Van Deen McCoy was named as the 2015 Leadership Award winner. McCoy was unable to attend due to a previous out-of-state commitment. McCoy was honored with the award for her outstanding service to the community by leading through adversity. Grandview Aluminum was honored with the Business of the Year award, and founders and owners Georgia and Harold Banks accepted the award. Grandview Aluminum, located in the heart of Grandview, Indiana, primarily makes plaques, as Harold Banks explains.
A building is built and it needs a plaque with all the people that contributed in building that building, downtown or wherever. So we're the people that makes the bronze. And it's quite, when we started out with the foundry, we were standard foundry work. Well, as time went along, we've seen the handwriting on the wall that we couldn't compete with overseas, and so we decided we'd get out the old equipment and we make things that nobody else wanted to. And so we happened to figure out a way to make plaques in an easier way than, and now it's quite complicated, but you have to have just equipment. But that's what happens. We make plaques, and then we also make standard castings yet. Thermwood is one example, and Dale, they are one of our best customers, and we make their castings that they need, So we make needed castings, and we make things that nobody else wants to or can. It's very difficult to make. Plaques are not easy.
Then Georgia and Harold went on to tell us all about the history of their aluminum business.
We had a body shop for 15 years before we got into the Grandview aluminum, and we've been in it 50. So we've been fighting it a long time. In the meantime, we've had a restaurant. Used to be in the record business. We've had it just goes on and on. We've been in a lot of things, but Grandview aluminum has been the most profitable.
I was in banking before he came home one day and said, "Hey, guess what, Mom? I bought a foundry." And I went, "A foundry? What's a foundry?" Well, I have found out in the last 50 years what a foundry is. And I quit the banking business and went into the foundry business, and I'm glad I did.
Kyle Kirsteins and Kenny Speed, account executives for WBDC, WAXL, and WJTS TV, were named as co-ambassadors of the year and were presented with plaques for their service. Kenny Speed explains his thoughts on why businesses should be a part of the Chamber.
I think the biggest importance of being a member of the Chamber of Commerce would be networking for your business, which is a big thing. You got to be able to get out there, get your business known, and what perfect way than to join the Chamber of Commerce and network with the other members and get your name out there for your business.
Kyle Kirsteins echoes those thoughts on what a chamber means to the businesses and the communities that it serves.
Well, I mean, kind of echoing what Kenny said, it's important to network, obviously, but really, especially with Spencer County, with it being so spread out, for your business to be able to function with other businesses and work together to put on these events and really, just work together as a whole county. It's extremely important. So I would definitely urge anybody out there who isn't a member to join or talk about joining, see what the benefits are, because there's definitely a lot of them.
The 2015 Spencer County Chamber Board Member of the Year was Jeff Hildenhold of Southern Indiana Power. He talks about the importance of the Spencer County Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Well, Chamber of Commerce, it's there to help the community grow. It's to help the small businesses prosper and try to get, what's tough about Spencer County is that we're so spread out and you don't have one local community for the whole county to come to. So you've got Santa Claus, you've got Christie, you've got several different, Rockport, Dale. It's tough to be a chamber to serve all of those, but you want to do the best you can to do that. So what we're trying to do now is try to bring all of those communities together. Spencer County's gotten the HCI grant. That's nothing that the Chamber's done, but that's something the Chamber's going to get behind and help drive that home and help make Spencer County a better place to live. So one of those things is, how does that help the community? It's to help the small businesses is to get people here to live here, and without the people here to spend their money locally, you can't do that. So that's one thing that the Chamber needs to do, is get behind the HCI grant and support new local business.
Spencer County Regional Chamber member also has the opportunity to meet Kathy Rinke, the new executive director of the Chamber. She was introduced to the membership by the Chamber president, Kyle Kinnerum. Following the dinner meeting, which had the atmosphere of an indoor picnic, members enjoyed a carnival of games and fun featuring Mechanical Bull. The annual dinner was held at the Spencer County Community Center in Christie. The latest report from officials with the Indiana State Board of Health say that flocks have been depopulated in all 10 original infection sites involved with the avian flu response. The Board of Health says that there were no new positive tests overnight, but aggressive testing continues inside of the 10-kilometer control area, an additional surveillance zone. In the last 24 hours, 114 commercial farms have tested negative for the influenza, 62 in the control area and 52 in the added surveillance zone. All commercial poultry farms located in the control area and the surveillance zone have completed at least one round of negative tests. State and federal teams have visited nearly 1,600 residences in this radius control area around the original site to search for small backyard flocks of birds for precautionary monitoring and testing. They say a total of 67 backyard flocks have been found, and sampling of these flocks continues. A total of 398 state, federal, and local responders are working in the Du Bois County on surveillance and to response for efforts. 30 offenders and 5 Department of Corrections staff members are participating in the response as well. Authorities placed a Jasper man under arrest after an investigation showed that he left the scene of a crash and tried to cover up his involvement on Sunday morning. Indiana State Police say that last Sunday, 2 troopers responded to a report of a vehicle found over a steep embankment north of the Hayesville Bridge of US 231 in Martin County. Troopers found nobody around the crashed SUV and also found that the license plate and vehicle identification number plate had been removed from the vehicle. On Wednesday, troopers continued their investigation by speaking with the registered owner of the vehicle. They learned that the owner had loaned the vehicle to 35-year-old David Contreras of Jasper. Police believe that he lost control of the vehicle Sunday morning, crashed over the embankment, and left the scene due to the cold weather conditions. Troopers also learned that he'd removed the vehicle identification number and registration plates. Contreras was placed into custody and booked into the Martin County Jail without incident on a level 5 felony count of removing a vehicle identification number and misdemeanor counts of leaving the scene of a property damage accident and operating a vehicle while never being licensed. 4 monks professed their temporary vows at the Benedictine monks in a ceremony Wednesday at the St. Meinrad Arch Abbey in St. Meinrad. All 4 have completed a year of prayer and study of the Benedictine way of life. As in the custom during the profession of vows, they were assigned religious names. Novice Peter Sidek is now Brother Nathaniel. A native of Grand Rapids, Michigan, he is a 2011 graduate of the University of Dayton with a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering. Novice Timothy Herman is now Brother Simon, and he is a former resident of Findlay, Ohio, and he is a graduate of the University of Dayton, where he earned a bachelor's degree in communication management in 2010. He worked as an associate editor for the National Office of Beta Theta Pi Fraternity from 2010 to 2011, and then at St. Meinrad Arch Abbey as the Director of Alumni Relations from 2011 to 2014. Novice Thomas Fish now will be Brother John, and formerly of Poway, California, he is a 2013 graduate of Sonoma State University with a bachelor's degree in anthropology. Novice Jonathan Blasey received the name Brother Joel, and he is formerly of Mount Carmel, Illinois, and a graduate of Southern Illinois University with a bachelor's degree in English literature. He earned an associate's degree at Wabash Valley College, and he also studied at Ivy Tech Community College for drafting and design. Temporary vows are typically for 3 years, and this period offers a continuing opportunity for the monk and the monastic community to determine whether this life is indeed the right vocation for this particular individual. Keep it right here because up next we'll take a look at your weather summary.